shortly. This is the Ladies That Lead panel. Looking so forward to you tuning in, hearing what's going on. If you're watching, you have questions, you want to know any information, tweet us at hashtag MegaFest, hashtag Ladies That Lead. See you soon. So you will have to pan. All right, we're live. All right.
Okay. One, she wear it natural too. That's what it is. I've been working on it. Yeah. You'll get all different things. Oh, they got Oh, they put it down? No, they were in there. Oh, okay. I thought you could look away. I'm like, yeah. Okay. Yeah, because when you walked off, it was in up here. Because I was in between these two, and I was just like, well, I don't know what you gonna do, but you know, whatever. But yeah. Oh, there it is. That was too Well, okay. Now you were coming with us.
Are y'all ready? Yeah! Woo! My goodness! Somebody told me we're having a Holy Ghost party out here. I see all these amazing people. Hey, bosses! Yeah! All right, so I am Kamika Smith, founder of the Boss Network. Anybody heard of the Boss Network? Yeah! I love it. And so you guys know that this is the Ladies That Lead panel, how to become a fearless businesswoman. We got any bosses in the house? All right, guys, so I'm so excited because this year I celebrate my 8th year as a business owner. God is good, and as you guys know, in the Bible, 8 means new beginnings, right? And so I'm claiming some newness right now, some greatness, and my whole motto is greater is coming. Can we say that? So whatever situation you're in right now, know that greater is coming. All right, so I have an amazing panel that I want to introduce to you guys. And then my Earth is one of those events where everybody can come and get something poured into them, right? Children, women, men, and so we know that the world that we live in right now, we need as much poured into us as possible, right? But what we have to understand is when we get poured into, it's our job to pour out into somebody else, right? And so whenever I do anything with my platform, I'm trying to bring somebody else along with me. And so I brought some bosses here today, and because of that, we have grown a network for business women to over 75,000 women nationally within our organization. So these are entrepreneurs. These are women who have their own business, who are hiring other people to start their businesses and showing them how it's done. And so if you guys already have a business or you're looking to grow more, this is a panel for you. If you are just getting started and you have a little bit of doubt or that fear, right? You know about that fear that sets in, we're gonna show you how to boss up, baby, and get it going, right? Because that's what it's all about. It's all about believing in yourself and knowing what you have to offer to the world. Because my thing is, if God birthed it in you, he will give you the tools to deliver. Right? We agree?
Yes.
All right, so we're a social brand, so I want you guys to do me a favor. I know you all have your smartphones. I want you all to tweet with the hashtag MegaFest17, I'm a boss and a believer, all right? All right, and while you all are doing that, I'm gonna introduce my illustrious panel. So like I said, we're gonna do this cheerleader style. I want you guys to give them a big round of applause. Let's first start with Dr. Jackie Hood Martin. Welcome to the stage. Let's keep those stuff going, Dr. Jackie Hood Martin. I get to bring my pastor to MegaFest. She has raised me since I was 10 years old, pouring the word of God into me, and so I get to share my platform with her today. So let's give it up for Pastor Dorothy Crawford. Yes, superstar. Oh my God, I love it. And then you all have to bring some more boss ladies with me. So we have Miss Jacqueline Miller. Certainly not least, Miss Kimberly Ferguson. Let's give her a round of applause. All right, ladies, are you guys ready for this panel? Yes. All right, well, we're going to get started. And so, I don't like to do introductions because I feel like everybody has their own story, right? We have our own journey to success, and so it's important for them to be able to tell you how they got here. We can read bios and we read, all the professional things that we have, but there's so much more that goes into starting a business or even just trying to be successful that it's not on a bio, right? It's not on a resume. But these are things that are important for us to succeed. And so we're gonna let them go ahead and get started by telling us a little bit about who they are and how they got here today. So we're gonna start with Kimberly.
Hello everyone, my name is Kimberly A. Ferguson. I am a learning and development consultant. So what I do is I go out to different organizations and I help people get better at what they do. I'm also the host of the Strategic Mind Show. So through that show, again, I'm living my passion by empowering others, helping them to grow and helping them to build their businesses, helping them to be intrapreneurs and entrepreneurs. So how I got started, I was always an entrepreneur at heart. I always wanted to do something. And the interesting thing was I was trying different things and they weren't working until I realized that I needed to align my passion and my purpose along with meaningful action. So once I was able to figure out what it was that I was passionate about, what I was good at, what my competencies were, I lined all those pieces up together in order to start my business. And when I started my business, God was all up and through it. Every move that I made, I knew that it was God-led. I knew that it was God-powered because of the things that were happening, things that should not have happened. Opportunities that came my way that shouldn't happen. So my journey started in that way. I started trying all of these different things, but ultimately realizing that the importance and the power was aligning my passion, my purpose, competencies, and relevant action.
All right, that sounds like a boss to me. Yes, and I love that because, Kimberly, I tell people all the time, when you make God the CEO of your business, there's no way that you can fail. Can we agree? Yes.
Again, my name is Jacqueline Miller. I am the CEO of Jacqueline Du Jour Enterprises. I am a life coach working primarily with boss moms. I am a speaker, obviously. I'm sitting on this panel. I am also a blogger, but obviously most important in my life is I'm a mom. And if I'm gonna be honest, my journey through entrepreneurship began when I was 5 years old. I don't know about you, but I grew up in a household where the phrase that was most commonly used was, we don't have that kind of money. And at age 5, I learned, if you want it and someone isn't willing to give it to you, make it happen. And I started a Kool-Aid stand, red Kool-Aid stand, that red Kool-Aid stand, and sold Kool-Aid. I bought borrowed some flowers from our neighbor's yard, sold flowers, and the first day that I did this, I made over $7. For a 5-year-old, $7, hey, I was it in the candy store. I was it on the block. But as far as my journey to being who I am today, the reality of all of that hit me August 2014, when my son was leaving for college. And I realized I hadn't planned my next. I was fearing losing that title of mom. Now, knowing that's not true, but he was my last to leave. But I was so accustomed to being defined by titles that I didn't know who Jacqueline was. February, Super Bowl Sunday 2002, I lost the title of wife when my husband died suddenly. January 2006, I lost the title of Senior Human Resources Executive in my company when they decided to break up with me, also known as downsizing. September 2010, I lost the title of daughter, earthly daughter anyway, when my mom died suddenly. So all of these losses of titles had me shook to my core, and I said, well, what am I going to do now, God? God said, look within. I looked within, and that little 5-year-old girl came and tapped me on my shoulder and said, become a boss. It's time to become a boss. And I decided at that time I needed to take all of my gifts that God had given me, because we're all born fully loaded. Let's never forget that. All of those gifts, combined with the years of corporate America, 20 years of corporate America, I did something that I advise everyone in this room who's looking to start a business to do. I identified what those gifts were, what my talents were. I didn't look over my neighbor's yard fence and say, oh, I want to be her. I identified my own talents, and then I began to utilize my talents. But utilizing them, identifying them, when there's no money, what do you have, ladies? A hobby. Thirdly, I had to learn how to monetize all of that. And that, along with God, needless to say, strong women in my tribe, led to me forming my company and having a successful company and allowing me to be on stages like this so I can serve and pour into women like yourselves.
Hallelujah, yes. And that's the story. Thank you for sharing that, Pastor Dorothy Cochran.
Hello, I'm Pastor Dorothy Cochran, and my journey began from a troubled childhood. I always felt inadequate. I felt like I just didn't belong, and I was looking for something, and I looked and looked, and I felt so, how you feel like it's not going to happen, hopeless. And I went to God. I wasn't in the church, but I asked God, I said, God, is there any more for me? And he sent me to a place. The job wasn't mine. It wasn't even set up for me. But I went and I applied for the job. And they said, well, the job is for someone else, but we're going to give it to you. I was on the job for about 6 months. And then someone came through, said, how would you like to be an intern in engineering? I couldn't even spell the word. But I said, what do you mean an intern? They said, we have an internship program here, and we've been watching you. Look at God. This is my journey. We've been watching you. And I said, you've been watching me? Mind you, I was a single mother with 2 sons. And I said, God, I don't want my children to live the life that I've lived. So they said, well, are you willing to take the challenge? I said, yes. They said, we'll pay for you to go to school. You can get the engineering degree, and we'll pay for it. And I said, God, look at the doors. Mind you, the stuff was like Greek to me. That's why I'm talking to someone here in this room. God will open up doors for you, even when you're in your darkest times of your life. And that's what he did for me. He opened up that door to engineering. And I went, and I had to be the best because I was the only color. I was the only one. The men, they didn't want me there. So I had a challenge, but guess what? Through that journey, God blessed me and I networked. And guess what? When me and my husband started the ministry 41 years ago, those same people now are supporting the ministry. When I opened up, God blessed me. And when I started, I said, God, I see so many young people that came up like me that don't have anyone to bless them and impart in their lives. And I saw the hurt on the west side of Chicago. I said, God gave me a vision to open up the Joshua House. And in doing that, those very engineers and the people I had networked with, they're my biggest supporters. I tell you the journey, if you just take God and be obedient to the call, God will take you places and put people in your life that you did not believe. And that's why I'm here today, because of my daughter Kamika and what God has done for me. And I bless the Lord today. Hallelujah!
Hallelujah! So we all begin in different places when we start on our journey. And one of the things that I've discovered, that scripture is true if you will take it and believe it. And working my grandmother's home-based business, which was a hamburger stand. She ran it out of her home. We would answer the phone, so we learned customer service at a very early age. We learned how to take orders and do deliveries and try not to get lost on your bicycle on a country road at a very young age. And so as we grow and as we mature, we don't know why God puts things in our path. We don't know where they will show up and when you're going to need them. And so what I've been able to do in growing myself as an entrepreneur and as a business, I started my first company in 1990. But along the way, I recognized the importance of going to work for other people and corporations in order to get the skill set that I needed in order to be able to run my business. It's called a double E, an employed entrepreneur. Yes. Long gone are the days of being starving artists or trying to, sell things out of your back of your car or hanging out on the corner getting permits to do things. We have enough business savvy among us to be able to determine how to network appropriately, how to get a job and take those skills from that job and use that in your own business. You see, a part of growing, being a life coach, I've been a college dean, a college vice president, but all of that is what God said, those 10 talents, those are the things I want you to be able to do. I run my own courses and my own classes. Some of you have taken them. I take every opportunity that God has given me to discover what people need, to help you how to balance what it is that you're going through, because you're never in this alone. Your spouses may be against you. Your family members may be against you. Your kids are not going to be able to do as many activities as they'd like to, because mama got to get her hustle on. And those days of you just sitting around putting everyone before you have to come to an end. And so part of being a strong entrepreneur is being able to discover how to put self first. It's okay to be selfish when it is for the greater good.
Come on, all right? That's good stuff, right? There is power in the word no. And many of us don't use that word enough.
Yes.
And so I'm a true testimony at what all of these women have said. When I started my business back in 2009, I had been in my career for over 10 years, and I was, very excited about being able to teach and be an administrator in Chicago Public Schools. That was something that you were proud of, to be able to help young people. And so when I lost my job, I felt like, wow, what do I do now? But something inside of me was like, there's more. There's more for you, and now is the time. And so I stepped out on faith, and I started my own business, and I was on that journey of trying to be a business owner. At the time, I had a marketing and event company. But one of the things that was really important to me and something that stood out was when I talked to other women like you all, I learned that there was this theme. Women felt like we didn't have the support, right? A lot of us come from homes where there's not an entrepreneur in our household. We don't know someone that has a business. And so we're first generation, right? And so we're trying to figure this thing out on our own. And so I said, well, why not create a platform for women of color so that we can come together, we can share our resources and our ideas and our strategies to help each other grow. Because the reality is, if we're not helping each other, no one else will, right? And so because of that, I created a platform of women like these women who are all a part of my network, who said, let's help each other. And that's exactly what we do within the Boss Network. And so we have courses, we have events, we have workshops, we have an amazing platform where we pour into each other. And because of it, I have seen so many women in my network grow and be successful. And that's what it's all about. You have to serve your way to success. And so when people ask me, how did you achieve what you've achieved? I tell them it's because I bring women along with me. And when you have people that you lift up, people will always lift you up as well. All right. So let's get into it. We're talking about being a fearless businesswoman here, you all. And I want you all to see some women taking notes, and that's what I'm talking about. Come and get it, right? So let's talk about some of these challenges, right? So we know that there's a lot of challenges that we face as business owners. And so what has been one of the biggest challenges that you've had as a business owner, and how have you overcome it?
I'll jump in. So one of the biggest challenges that I have as a business owner, because I do provide service, and write this down, it's other people not being ready when you're ready to use them. That follow-up, that commitment, that ability to say, you know, I need A, B, C, and D from you, and I'll have it for you next week, and then it's 2 months later. Now you're trying to get your stuff moving, and you need this other component. So make sure that you have a contingency plan, because if you are not prepared when other people aren't ready or in position or have figured out their purpose and their passion, it can debilitate you. It can slow down the process that you're trying to have to move your business forward. Even in an event like this, take names, take numbers. If you tell someone you're going to follow up or talk to them after 4th of July, follow up with them after the 4th of July, because they just may have what you've been looking for. So many of us spend time bumping our head against the wall, trying to figure out what we need to do when we come to an opportunity like this and just never follow up. And execution can kill your business.
That's right. Now I do believe everything that you need is right with somebody sitting right next to you, right? So look to the woman next to you and say, you got what I need. Hey, you never know. That's true. She might just have it, right? All right.
One challenge I see for business, for myself, procrastination. Waiting, and aligning yourselves up with the right people. When we procrastinate, that, and I know it's a symbol of that, you're not certain. And if we have a passion, I found out that when I had a passion and I procrastinated, nothing got done. And I found out that even in doing things at the church, procrastination. And we have to line ourselves up with the right people that's going to get the job done. Because you don't line yourself up with the right people, you're going to procrastinate, and then if you delegate to the wrong people, it's not going to get done. It's just like Dr. said, it's not going to get done. So we have to ask God to give us that vision. God, align people up with me that got the same vision, that want to press the vision, that want to walk it out with me, that when things stop rolling, they still going to be there. Because guess what? Sometimes God put us in a desert or wilderness situation where everything stopped and nothing is moving, to find out, are we really true to Him and true to the passion? So therefore, there's a time of waiting. There's a time that we got to go to God and say, God, give me some insight, give me some vision. Because I found out, even as I go and deal with my young people and encouraging them to go to college, they need to get before the Lord. There's a scripture, John 15, without God, and we cannot do nothing. And we need to encourage them and let them know that without God, we can't do nothing. That goes for the business people. That goes for the entrepreneurs. That goes for anyone, praise God, that's looking at me. We got to understand that it's all about God. Amen. Praise God. And we put Him in the picture. He will help us to meet all the challenges that we face. Amen? Amen.
Amen. And I do believe, we know that procrastination, that's an act of the enemy, right? Because God is not a God of confusion. Yes. And so what we have to do when we get into that place where we're procrastinating, and I've been there, we go through it quite often. Yes. Have to have people that will push you, right? You got to have a team, accountability partners, people that you can call on or that will call you and say, hey girl, what's going on with this project? Where are we with this project? And so get somebody in your team, in your circle, that can be an accountability partner to help push you on that journey. That's super important. My team is here with me today. 10 of them flew out here with me because they support what I do, and I would not be able to do the work that I do without them. So get you a tribe, or get a part of a tribe like the Boss Network, so that you can continue to have people that will push you to that next level. Right? Yes. All right. Yes. Yes, it's clap.
There's somebody out here who has either tried to talk themselves out of their dreams or been surrounded by people who try to talk them out of their dreams. One of the things that I do, as Jackie said, we all have lots of talents. One of my talents is I am a life coach. I'm a life strategist. If you look around the room, if you ask some folks to raise their hand, you'll find a life coach and a speaker and an author in almost every corner of America now. And deciding to go that path, I knew an obstacle would be, how do I elbow my way through that busy crowd? And I just said, you've got to be your best. You've got to be your best. And what I did is I went out and I bought this little light fixtures, they're shaped like letters, and I bought the letters B-E-S-T. And they're in my office. The B stands for be a solution, not just a salesperson. There are a lot of people out here selling you stuff, nice and pretty websites, and then you get the product and you're like, what? Be a solution, not just a salesperson. For me, I said, Jacqueline, if you're going to dangle it, you better deliver it. The E, enhance your brand. You have to be the best at what you do. No one can do Jacqueline like Jacqueline. So I invest in myself. I get on stages like this because I'm surrounded by amazing people who can make it happen. A lot of folks out here want what you want to do, but they don't want to do the work. So you have to enhance your brand. The S, stay true to you. You're not trying to be your neighbor. You're not trying to be the person over here who looks like she's got the most followers. Stay true to you. And T, sometimes we got to turn on Arnold Schwarzenegger and become the Terminator. Terminate those relationships that are making greater withdrawals than deposits in your life. They're telling you they support you to your face, and they're breaking you down, your back. Detox is not all about just our body. It's about our spirit. It's about our tribe. And sometimes you just got to terminate people and love them from a distance.
Yeah. Come on, that's good stuff. Yeah.
So my answer is similar to yours in that one of my challenges has been other people. It's been other people not delivering on whatever it is I'm asking them to do. See, I'm a solopreneur, but I still rely on others to get my job done, to get the business done, to deliver whatever it is I need to deliver to the clients. So one of the things that I learned to do is communicate more effectively with those folks. Of course, I need to have that contingency plan, but I also need to make sure I'm setting expectations and I'm following through on whatever it is that I say that I'm going to follow through on in that space. So one of the things that I do is I use SMART, just like we do for goal setting, but I use it for my communication. So I speak in very specific terms. So if I'm asking someone to do something, I'm making sure it's so specific and that they can understand what it is I'm asking for, so that when they bring me the end product, it is what I was looking for and not what they understood it to be that I was asking. The next thing I do is I make sure that I'm speaking in measurable terms. So I'm making sure they understand what success looks like to me. What does it look like when you deliver on whatever it is I'm asking you to deliver on? The next thing is making sure it's attainable for them. See, sometimes people ask us for things and we're not ready. We're just not in that space. We can't do whatever it is that they're asking us to do. Maybe we don't have the skill set to do it. Maybe we don't have the knowledge. Maybe we don't have the time. Maybe we don't have the resources. So when I'm asking someone to do something, I make sure that it's attainable for them, making sure that it's realistic, something that they can do. Relevance, I help them to understand why it's important at this time that I need them to do whatever it is I'm asking them to do. So if I help people to understand the why, see, a lot of times when we're employing others or when others, even in the workplace, when our bosses are asking us to do something, relevance is important. Because if I understand, it goes to what you were talking about with alignment. If people can understand the alignment between what I'm asking you to do and what the outcome can be, that's a benefit for both of us. And then finally, I make sure that it's deadline driven. So if I ask you to do something for me, and when I'm asking people outside of people that are doing things for me, for clients, when I'm asking them to do something, I let them know whatever the deadline is. So I'm clearly setting the expectation so that if they don't deliver, then I know, okay, you know what? I'm not going to be able to work with this person again, but I want to make sure that it's not me that dropped the ball when I'm looking at that. So that self-assessment piece is very important for me, making sure that I'm doing what I need to do in order to get what I need from other people.
And I'll add to that. I think, and maybe you guys can agree, one of my biggest challenges when I was growing my business was asking for help. Anybody have that challenge? Especially when you acquired some amount of success. So when I started my brand, within a year, we were listed in Forbes magazine as one of the top 10 websites for women. We were listed in Inc. magazine as one of the top 50 websites for entrepreneurs. I was just listed as a top brand influencer by Adweek. And so these are major, major brands. And so because of that and having that type of validation very early, I felt like I needed to know it all, right? I feel like I'm in Forbes. I mean, Forbes never write me no check, but, I felt like I needed to know everything. And so I had to get outside of myself and put that ego to the side and say, you need help. You're gonna burn yourself out. And so I started to ask for help. And of course, when you're a leader, you can't be asking everybody for help, right? Because you gotta show up as a leader. Because you gotta have those trusted individuals in your circle that you can go to, right? We don't need a soft place to land every once in a while, right? You gotta have those people that you can say, hey, I'm struggling in this area. And so now I'm very confident that even 8 years in, I don't know it all. And I have a tribe of women that are way smarter than me that I can go to and say, hey, I need some help in this area. This new app that just came out, I don't know how to Snapchat. I'm on Instagram right now. But hey, I need to figure this thing out. So you gotta ask people. It might be your 7-year-old little daughter, she might know. But don't be afraid to have people in your circle that you can go to and get the help that you need, because that is how you continue to grow. Once you stop learning, you have no use being here anymore, right? Can we agree? Yes. All right. So if you guys are hearing something that you like or that resonates with you, we call those tweetable moments. Feel free to tweet those things out using the hashtag MegaFest17. We want them to know how amazing this panel is and what we're doing in here with all you amazing people. And we're going to keep it going. I want to talk about discouragement, right? How many have been discouraged in their journey, right? Yeah, we all have. And so what advice, ladies, would you give to someone when feeling discouraged while pursuing their dreams?
Is a roadblock. It's a form of a stronghold. Okay, and discouragement, and by we got a biblical platform, discouragement causes us to pray. We need to pray. When we're discouraged, we got to take things to God. He said, come boldly to the throne of God so we can receive mercy and grace in the time of trouble. Discouragement will stop us and put us in a pit like Joseph was in a pit. Okay, so I encourage anyone that get discouraged on their journey to pray. Because the fervent prayer of a righteous man, what? Availeth much. And so we have to pray. Everyone that get discouraged when things don't happen right. And guess what? There's a lot of times that discouragement comes to make you better, to push you into your goal. Okay, everything is not going to be smooth and easy. And when discouragement comes, we got to run to the rock that's higher than we are. And we got to ask God, praise God, to bring us up, praise God, and show us a different way, praise God. If you're discouraged on that side, God got another route that he'll take you on. Glory to God. All we got to do is ask him. Hallelujah. When I get discouraged, I run to the rock. I say, God, I need you. I need you to show me. Give me a vision. Show me. Give me a plan. God, give me another strategy. And he does that.
Amen. Amen.
I want to add to what Pastor was saying, because along with that coming with discouragement and knowing how to pray, sometimes you have to be cautious about running ahead of yourself. And I take a good introspective look, and I go to scripture in there too that resonate with me constantly. Commit your plans to the Lord and they will succeed. But the other that I'm reminded of is that a man plans his ways, or a woman plans his ways, but the Lord orders their steps. And as Christian women, we have to be able to appropriate scripture in everything that we do. The people who we connect with, the business plans that we write, the loans that we think that we need, because we actually have all of our financial resources, they're already with us, but we have this continuance of trying to say, I need to go faster, I need to go further, I need to do it now, I need to do it better. But sometimes
They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They will mount up as wings, with wings as eagles. They will run and not grow weary or get faint. Let me tell you why soaring is so important when you get discouraged. Because when you get discouraged, it has a tendency to take you to a valley place. And in that valley place, you can get another perspective. You see, when we're up here doing what we think we should be doing and ought to be doing, we're not paying attention to the warning signs that are around us. And sometimes God has to sit you down in order to get your attention. And so from your low place, you're able to look up and see where you had your misstep. And then God is able to say, now my daughter, now my son, you're able to run on. So getting discouraged is sometimes just a way of saying, I need you in a holding pattern. It's like when you're flying on an airplane. You just need to be in a holding pattern. You're going to get to where God is trying to take you, but you need to be in a holding pattern so you can see your way to clearly what God has in store for you. And then the next time you think discouragement is coming up, you'll be able to stop yourself because you see the warning signs and say, Lord, did I get ahead of you again? And you sit yourself down somewhere, let the Lord speak into you so you can be on your way.
Come on, baby. We gotta get that scripture on the inside. We all have our favorite scriptures, Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, right? To prosper you and not to harm you, but to give you hope in the future. So get that prayer and that scripture on the inside of you and let that lead you where you go. Thank you so much, Pastor and Doctor. Yes.
Notice the common thread in all these conversations up here. It's been God. And I can do all things through Christ. What? And that's exactly what I encourage everyone to do. I know I do it. And I also am a true believer. It took me a while to get to this point that God gives his toughest battles to the strongest. When I became what I call a suddenly single mother 15 years ago, I said, God, you got a whole lot of belief in me. You think I can handle this? But I'm a true believer that God doesn't make mistakes. I might not have understood it at that time, but the discouragement in my life and wanting to go forward was all put to bed when someone said to me, Jacqueline, your test is going to be someone's testimony. And I can't tell you how many women in particular I have been able to share that period of being discouraged and downtrodden and have been able to uplift other people. And it's 15 years later and he's still leading me. I was just telling Kimberly yesterday, in less than a week, I am going to become a certified bereavement counselor. That was never a part of my plan. But what God changed in my life and had me going through periods of discouragement, doubting myself and wondering, and Lord knows, having my faith questioned, he's still using me to serve other people. So while you're feeling discouraged, as Dr. Jackie said, that's sometimes a sign that you need to slow down. Doesn't mean give up. Because that road to success, if it were easy, we'd all be there. There are going to be pitfalls. There are going to be walls to climb over, but you can do it. And a lot of it comes from what Kanika said a few minutes ago, being unafraid to ask for help. Too many people out here wanting to be Superwoman, and I'm a true believer. Superwoman's she's a fictional character. You know, we're human.
It's going to come. And I can tell you, even for me, it's been recent. Recently, I was in a place of discouragement because one of my main clients, I was having a conversation just yesterday, one of my main clients was making some changes, and I was just wondering, I just started wondering, like, why? You know, I've taken a leap, and, you know, this was one of my main accounts. And so during that time, I'm on the phone and I'm talking to my mom, and she's encouraging me. So one of the things that I encourage you to do is get that person around you that is going to support you, that person that is going to encourage you, not the person that's just going to tell you what you want to hear, but the person that is going to give you true encouragement, true feedback on whatever it is that you're feeling discouraged about. But when I got to my hotel room, and a verse, one of my favorite verses, I just kept hearing it. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. And in all of your ways, acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. And see, the thing about that, the reason why that came to mind, I realized a little bit later, is because for a moment there, I was trusting in myself. And God led me, I know, and I told you before, I know he pushed me in this particular direction. So shortly later, I opened up my email, and sure enough, an email from the client, wanting to have a conversation about some of the changes that they're making. Me learning that these are changes that are going to benefit me, but all the while I was discouraged because of my understanding, or what I thought to be the understanding. I needed to be trusting in him and understanding that he's not going to put me in a place and leave me there. And it's just with that particular question really struck a chord with me, because, and then hearing the responses up here, because oftentimes we come to hear these panelists talk and everyone talks about how wonderful things are, and don't be discouraged, because that's just, but the reality is we're human and we are going to feel that, but it's how we deal with it. So making sure, my 2 tips are to, number 1, keep God in the center. Get on your knees and pray about it. Keep that scripture close to you. And then number 2, make sure you have people around you who are going to encourage you and tell you the truth.
Good. And there's something like my spirit, like there's something for someone in here. You know, I know that we live in a state right now where we have more access than ever, right? And because of that access, we have access to see what everybody's doing, right? We have all our Facebook friends that are successful, and we're constantly comparing ourselves and saying, oh, I need to work a little bit harder, I need to push a little bit harder, I need to do a little bit more. But the reality is, you have to do what God is leading you to do at that moment, right? And so I know sometimes when you're getting discouraged, we put ourselves in a place of isolation. And I want to just encourage someone today that when you are in that place, try to surround yourself around other people. Isolation, it's dangerous, right? And so when you're getting to that place where you feel like you are discouraged, something might have happened, don't isolate yourself from the world. You know, get around people who can push you, because sometimes you just need to strategize, right? That situation might not have worked out, but you can strategize with other people who will make you think, you know what, I didn't think about it that way. You know what? So I encourage you all to get around, and we keep saying this, and I tell you all, the reason why I'm so encouraged by my network and what we do is because it is important to have other people on your journey. God did not put us here to do things alone, right? We need one another. You know, Kirk Franklin said it, I need you, you need me. We need one another. So make sure that you're not isolating yourself when you're going through situations. Put yourself in a position to be around people that can pour into you just as much as you pour into other people. All right? All right, so we want to talk about leadership, and this is one of the topics that I really enjoy talking about, and specifically we created an entire tour called the Ladies That Lead Tour because of it. And the reason why I talk about leadership is because I think a lot of times we as women, we have things that we want to do and we don't consider ourselves a leader, right? We might not be the person that wants to be out front, but leadership is not always outspoken. It's not always out front. Leadership happens in so many capacities. I have so many leaders on my team that without them I cannot do what I do, right? But I'm the one on stage, you know, but they make it happen for me. And so understanding leadership and what does that really mean? One of the things is we cannot be so sensitive to when somebody tells us no, right? We cannot take it as a personal attack on our character or on our work. When people tell me no, I ask them why. And when they tell me why, I go to work. And when I get to work, I come back and say, here you go. You know, because now I've done what you said, so now I need a positive yes. And when I tell you it works, people want to see that you have tenacity. They want to see that you go hard. And I tell people, there might be people smarter than me, but there's nobody who's going to go harder than me. I know what gifts God has given me, and because of it, I use that and I push myself. And when somebody tells me, you know what, that's not good for us this year, okay, so what do I need to do for next year? And I start to work that plan. I create those opportunities. I keep in touch with them because it's all about relationship. Right? Everything that you need, like I said, is in somebody else's hands. And so you have to keep positive relationships. And so I want to encourage us, especially as women, do not be so quick to shut people down. You know, just because somebody doesn't want to work with you at that particular moment, it might not be now, but it doesn't mean never. Okay? So stay encouraged. Keep great relationships, because the same people that you might see on the way up, you might see on the way down. All right? All right, so let's talk about effective strategies for leadership. What can we tell some of our ladies here today that can help them to be effective leaders?
A good leader is team-oriented. In leadership, in a leadership role, and we know that leadership is to empower, to influence someone else. But I've learned down through the years in my leadership role in the ministry is to empower other people and to be team-oriented. A leader gets a vision, but you can't execute that vision by yourself. And so when you're not intimidated by the people that you're leading, because a lot of times leaders are intimidated by the people they're leading. And so I found out that through the leadership that we have to give people a platform. Like, look at you. Prime example. Can I say that? Yes. Prime example of awesome leadership. Because she empowers, she influences, and she is not selfish on her platform. And you say, why do you say that? And I call myself Mama Crockett. Why do you say that? Because she's got me up here today. I'm her pastor. But she didn't have to choose me to be here. So she unselfishly honored me to be on this platform. So I'm telling all leaders, you have to be team-oriented. You got to work with a team. It ain't all about you as a leader. We have to be team-oriented, and guess what? We got to want those people that we lead to be greater than we are. Okay? Look at Jesus. Look at Jesus. When he chose his 12 disciples, he didn't get all the best ones. They were all messed up. Okay? His 12 disciples. But guess what? When he chose them, he taught them, he empowered them, and guess what? Then he released them, and then he said, now you're going to do greater than me. So you want those people that you lead to be greater than you are. I look at our ministerial staff. Yeah, I meet them, and there's about 40 of them. I want them to be greater than I am. Guess what? Because when they're great, and their greatness shine, that's going to make me shine. Okay, so team-oriented.
That's right. That's right. Great leadership is not about how many followers you have, but how many leaders you have.
How many leaders? Yeah.
I'm going to pick up where Pastor left off, because the how of the leadership is also important. And for me, it's equip and engage.
Yes.
You have to know which people on your team are ready to take on more responsibility. And as you give other people responsibility, it frees you up to go out and cast the vision more. It gives you the ability to go out and get more business, so that as you draw people in, you're engaging them in the process of one day them becoming their own business leader or their own business owner. But also the equipping. Whom God calls, he equips, but he also qualifies. And so a part of being a good leader is qualifying the people who work alongside you to go out and to get their own business, to do more of the work, to see that the baby can only grow when the village takes a part in its process. And so you have to treat your business like a family. Because in the beginning, we are basically solo entrepreneurs, as Kimberly stated, but then also we're teaching the children, which are our associates, our family members, our good girlfriends who say they want to come along and support. We're engaging them and equipping them in the way of the work. And being a good leader means you don't hold all the goodies for yourself. You have to be able to sow good seed, but you have to also know where the good seed is in your front row and in your crew. Some of us, we use the hashtag squad goals all of the time, but you and your squad are not all on the same page. And so as a good leader, it's your responsibility to get your squad on the same page. And so as you eat, they eat. As you get connections, they get connections. So one good thing that happens good for you, it also happens good for everyone. So you have to equip and engage your people in order to be a good leader.
That's good, Dr. Jacqueline. Thank you.
Being a leader is more than a title. It's more than where you are on that organization chart. It's about how influential you can be with people's lives and having them want to follow you, sometimes blindly. And that is not a characteristic that many people have or are born with naturally. One of the things that I've always admired about leaders that I've been blessed to have in my life, they were wise enough to remain at a level where they could relate to the people they were leading, but still several steps ahead of them and having the skill set to be able to motivate them. And sometimes leaders find themselves in one category or the other. They don't know how to separate themselves from the folks that they're supposedly leading. And then they get caught up in the pressures there, but they're so far removed from the people that they're leading that they can't relate. So it's so important that as a good leader, you have a combination of those things. And the way that you discover whether you do is by having and taking the time to conduct a personal inventory. Sometimes we operate blindly. We think we have skills that we don't, that they certainly can be sharpened. And then what we do, we spend a lot of time recreating the wheel. When I stepped into leadership in corporate America, I didn't sit down and say, okay, leadership task number one. I got mentors, and I began to follow people whose leadership style I admired and I respected. Because the type of leader that I wanted to become, as Kamika, I believe, said, I was more interested and driven by the legacy and the long-lasting impact I was going to have on somebody's life, as opposed to the likes. And we oftentimes get in leadership and we're more interested in the likes. I want someone, and I've been blessed to have people come back to me and say, thank you for pointing me in that direction. Thank you for helping me transform my life by having me enroll in a particular class, for example. For me, it's the legacy versus the likes.
That's good.
So I do a workshop, it's called Why Should They Follow You? And it's a leadership development workshop. And it's all around every one of these principles, every one of the ideas that was shared up here, we talk about those things as leaders. So we talk about the coaching, the importance of being a coach so that we can develop our people. John Maxwell has the levels of leadership, the 5 levels of leadership. And the first one starts with position, people following you just because of your title. We never want someone to follow us just because of our title. We want to get to that place where we're doing all the things that they discussed, developing our teams, making sure that we know our team. So knowing our role and being honest, I'm a big fan, and you all know I'm a big fan of self-assessment. So taking the time to do that personal inventory, but on top of that, knowing my resources, knowing who I have on my team, knowing their value, and also knowing their challenges, and being able to have those honest conversations so that we can develop them and we can grow them. So even for those of you that are in the workplace and you're looking at your leaders for these types of things, when we talk about leadership development, there's also accountability for us the individual, for us the employee, to say, okay, I'm not getting these things and I need them, so I need to have a conversation. Sometimes we have to lead up. So sometimes we have to teach our manager what it is he needs to do. We need to teach him how to set expectations for us. We need to teach him or her how to coach us, how to guide us, how to give us access to the resources that we need. So the onus is not only on the leader, there's a responsibility for all of us. There's accountability to say, this is what I need.
Thank you so much. Yes. And I was going to ask that before you move to the next question. I do believe that leadership is about service, right? And so I want to just encourage you all, especially as business owners, and especially for my business owners that currently have a business, making sure that we provide a service that is good, right? I think a lot of times we're running so fast that we take on so many clients, we're producing so many products, and we're not delivering a great service or product. For me, it's not about numbers, it's about quality. So I make sure when I create a program, I make sure that I have the capacity to over-deliver on that promise, and that way my clients actually do the work for me. I have a program right now called the Influencers Program, and I don't even have to recruit for this program. The ladies that are in my program literally recruit for me every single year, and some of them are 3-year influencers that come back every year, and they invest in this program because I try to over-deliver on my promise. And so if you're creating a product and you're getting clients and you have all these people that you're working with, but you can't deliver a great product, eventually you will taint your name and people will find out. And so I encourage you all to make sure that it is about quality and not quantity. All right? All right. And so we know that we're all only 25, right? But let's go back a little bit, and this is for my younger ladies, because I know that we all have been through some things where, if we could look back and tell ourselves something, or, to help us along the way, we would give that younger self a little bit of advice. So tell me, ladies, what advice would you tell your 25-year-old self today about believing in herself and starting a business?
I'll jump in. I would tell my 25-year-old self to start early. I think that it's important that you start early. Young children have the capacity to grasp new math, to understand technology and its uses, and being able to start early on in age. If you have a teenager or a young child who's interested in starting a business, You just may find yourself being a mompreneur or a dadpreneur. That's another part of you becoming a business owner in yourself, is supporting the business of your child, because you know the ways of the world. You know, as we've learned, wolves in sheep's clothing. He says, behold, I send you out amidst them. And so you help when you start early to see some of the pitfalls and the dangers of just being vulnerable and transparent in society. And so I think at 25, it's a good age to say, I know how to go down to the DBA office and start a business. I know how to articulate myself and share what my vision is, to get a name that resonates, because you are an individual brand. The same thing with your emails. Make certain that everything that you do resonates with you being a professional. Slim Foxy Brown at Hotmail is not appropriate for starting a business.
Come on, Dr. Jackie.
It's very important that you start early in your mind so that you can be able to walk out your vision as you get older. So start early. Get some senior saints around you who can share with you. And please, I know it happens, because I've had young people roll their eyes and shake their neck at me because they think I'm old, and that is fine. But at the end of the day, if you want to be sitting here and get to where we are today, get your 25-year-old self together and sit at somebody's feet and learn something.
As the doctor has just said, write a vision. And write, like she said, the vision. When I was 25, I didn't have a vision of how my life was going to go or what. I was just at random. Everybody, when we're at random, we don't have any direction. So I would say write a vision, as the Word of God said. Write a vision and make it plain. Get you a vision board. Put it out there. Praise God. I set up you a 5-year forecast, a 10-year forecast. Pray over it. And tell God, God, this is my vision, this is my desire. He said he'll give us the desires of our heart. So write that vision down. I will tell my 25-year-old self, if I write that vision and make it plain, God said everything and every desire I want, he will cause it to come to pass. He said, declare a thing, and he'll establish it. He'll shed light on it. So write a vision, 25-year-old woman. Praise God. And let God take you and walk you through that journey. And guess what? He said that we're more than conquerors through Christ Jesus that loves us. And we will see our vision being manifested.
Right, that's right. That's 25, 35, 45, 50, 10. We all need a vision for our life. Amen, amen.
I would tell that sassy know-it-all that the mathematical equation of clarity and confidence and cash flow are a package deal. Because she didn't understand that. She came out of college, wanted to get out of her mother's house, chasing the dollar bills. Landed on Wall Street. Yeah, Wall Street. Lots of money to be made, but that wasn't my lane. And when you're chasing nothing but money, you oftentimes end up in the wrong lane. And when you're in the wrong lane in the workplace, you generally aren't performing at your best. And then as smart as you think you are, your confidence starts to wane, because you start wondering, well, what's wrong with me? Not realizing this ain't your lane, you ain't supposed to be in this lane. And then when your performance starts falling off and your confidence is falling off and everybody else around you is getting those bonuses and those salary increases and you're not, the cash flow starts to be impacted. So that journey that began like the mouse on the wheel, chasing that dollar, ends up with you going around and around because you got into the game not being clear. That's why I tell women all the time, you don't run here, you don't go here just because it's the shiny object. You don't follow that. My 25-year-old self didn't understand that. I was chasing what I thought was wealth, not understanding that wealth is more than just money. You know, you have to really understand what your purpose is in life. The origins of the word wealth come from the words well-being. You know, it was related to your health. So if your mindset is unhealthy, which mine was because I thought money was everything at 25, and your brain is cluttered, your path is going to be cluttered, and you're going to make mistakes that you're going to end up regretting. You know, some of them can be corrected, but why make them if you don't have to? There's more to life than money. Money makes things a little easier, but money alone will not bring you happiness. And at 25, I didn't understand that.
Thank you.
And I would tell 25-year-old me, it's funny, I just recently stopped saying I was 25. I've been 25 for 16 years now. But I would tell myself to take advantage of opportunity. And I know that's advice we always hear, but the challenge for me at that time was I didn't recognize things as opportunities. So there were certain things that came my way that I kind of turned my nose up at because I felt like it wasn't an opportunity. I was working at Dow Jones at the time, and there were just different tasks that they were giving me, and I ultimately took them on, but I didn't realize the value and the power and the importance of those tasks until later in life. And I feel like if I had truly taken advantage of the opportunities that were laid out there, some of the lessons that I had to learn later on, I wouldn't have had to learn because I would have learned them when I took advantage of what was presented to me at that time. So my key piece of advice for 25-year-old me is take advantage of opportunity.
Yes, that's good, that's good. Ooh, now let me see. So the advice I would give my 25-year-old self is to trust your gut, right? I do believe that your gut is God. And I know that especially as women, He gives us a certain type of discernment. And a lot of times we make certain mistakes because and knowing how to trust your gut and not be afraid to just, you know, have faith in whatever it is that you're doing. Have faith in yourself. When Cora, we had our event here last year, she has a book called Faith in It. And I said, sometimes you gotta faith it till you make it. You know, like you gotta do what you gotta do to get there. So trust your gut is God. All right, so yes, so our last question, and I wanna make sure I invite you all to join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. because we're gonna be talking about faith over fear. Because I do believe that a lot of things that are holding us back is because of the fear that we have. And that fear can be fear of failure, sometimes it's fear of success, right? But I want to talk really deep about that. So you all let me know really quickly, how do you handle fear and doubt while pursuing your goals?
I'll start. And the reason I want to start is because it's scriptural and it's not easy. We have tossed out a lot of scripture today. But you've got to trust yourself as much as God trusts you with your dreams and your vision. And it is simply, for God has not given us the spirit of fear or timidity, but of a sound mind and of self-discipline. And let me tell you, all of those things have to work together. Dealing with fear and failure and the faith that comes along with it is just recognizing that God says it is going to be at times, but it's not a place that you stay. We have a hard time letting go. And in letting go, sometimes we just stay too long in our failure. We stay too long in our fear. So knowing how and when to let go gives you that ability.
Yeah. Fear is intimidation. Fear is something that will hold us back. And like the doctor said, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a love, joy, and a sound mind. So when fear comes in, it affects the mind. And fear comes in and it'll stop you dead in your tracks. So I would encourage the audience to say the Lord, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a sound mind. So let's keep our sound mind and let's trust God. And when fear comes in, praise God. Fear and doubt kind of like work together. Amen. They're joined together. So I would just tell you to trust God. Continue to pray and praise God. And let fear go out the door and trust God. Because He will turn that thing around. Amen? Amen. And give you faith. Because faith will knock out fear. Amen? Praise God. Because faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So when we have faith, it casts out fear. Amen? So let's walk in faith and get rid of the fear. Amen.
And here's a tangible thing for you ladies. You know, when because that fear comes in that little voice in our head, right? Telling us what we can't do. So I need you all to speak those things as though they were. Counteract that thought. When that thing in your head says you can't do this, you say, yes, I can. You know, you have to speak those things as though they were. And so make sure you create positive affirmations for yourself. You know, I create affirmations every day. I am favored by God. Opportunities come to and through me every single day. And so create that affirmation for yourself and keep that and start speaking those things out into the world and see some things change in your life. Okay?
Amen. There will be people that will tell you, I don't have fear. I don't have doubt. And I'm a believer that they are speaking words of either denial or they're just not dreaming big. I don't think there's anyone amongst us that doesn't go through some period of fear, but as my sisters over here have said, it's about how long you stay in that moment. I have come to realize that my level of fear and doubt is specifically tied to my faith and my relationship with God. And the closer I come to Him and the stronger my faith is, that fear just starts to dissipate, and what it does is it turns into excitement. Because I know God is not putting me in positions and putting me on stages and giving me opportunities that He doesn't think I'm ready for. So for me to stay in that space is to say I doubt God's decisions. So as long as my faith is strong, I'm there for a minute, but then I have to keep reminding myself, God said it's okay. Therefore, from this moment on, I have nothing else to prove, nothing else to protect, nothing else to hide, and nothing else to defend. And I just keep moving. So I can't speak for everyone out there, but when your faith is strong, the fear lessens.
So all of the above, but on top of that, I would say, and almost piggybacking on what you were talking about, Kanika, with the positive affirmations, there's something called thought awareness, where if I'm having those negative thoughts, if I'm having the fear, taking the moment to think about it and say, why do I feel the way that I do? Because sometimes that fear is led by something that I didn't do that I was supposed to do. That fear might be led by the fact that I need something in order to be successful in this area, and I have to take the time to get it. So the first thing that I wanted to be sure to stress is that in that prayer, in that faith that we have, is to be aware of why we're feeling the way that we're feeling and taking the necessary action. If it's, I need more education in order to be successful in this place, or I need access to this resource, doing what I need to do. So taking the necessary action in order to be successful.
Good. So yes, time for that. So this is what I want to offer to you ladies. We have a campaign right now celebrating our 8th year anniversary, and it's called 10,000 Women Mentored. And so if you guys are on Facebook, I want you to search the Boss Network Success Forum. And it's a private group that we have, but we're going to give all of you all access today to join this group so that you all can be mentored and educated and be a part of our tribe. And then from there, when you're ready to boss up and become a member, you have the option to do that. So search the Boss Network Success Forum on Facebook, and we will give you guys access to that today, to that forum. So with that said, I want to introduce Mr. Green to the stage, and let's give our panelists a wonderful round of applause. Yes. Dr. Jacqueline Martin, Pastor Dorothy Procrastination, Kimberly Ferguson, Jacqueline Miller, and I'm your host, Kanika Smith. Thank you guys so much.
These awesome ladies did an awesome job, did they not? Yes. Awesome. Listen, Bishop sent me over to make a quick announcement to you guys before you leave. First off, I'm the young adult pastor here at the Potter's House. If you've ever been to the Potter's House, I'm also the e-church pastor if you watch online. So what's up to all of our e-church members? Where y'all at? I know y'all live here. Listen, Bishop has started a brand new network. It's called Bishop's Village, okay? I know you've heard about it. Some of you guys are already in the village. But he wants to encourage you guys, because this is something, we're doing a shift in how we give out information that Bishop has that he wants to pass on to you guys. This is an exclusive membership where you're going to get exclusive content just from Bishop Jakes, and any of the other resources that we have to give out as well will all be found there in the village. Including the opportunity to be able to watch everything that happened at MegaFest. You'll be able to get it in the village. Entrepreneurship and leadership nuggets, you'll be able to find it in the village. As a matter of fact, here's a quick video that I want to show you guys, and I'm going to show you how easy it is to be a part of the village. Give us about 3 minutes of your time here, and we'll let you go. Check this out.
Hey everybody, welcome to my village. I am saying to you that sometimes you don't have a great man. It has nothing to do with your size, your hair, and all the things I see women working on today. I think raising children is the hardest job I have ever signed up for in my life. And if you don't have a good relationship with the mother, it makes it very difficult to raise the children. I often tell women that if you would love your husband like you love your sons, we would be happier. You forgive other people, and you will forgive the one who laid beside.
Sometimes love makes you cry. Sometimes love makes you carry a cross you don't want to carry.
The girl's first glimpse of what a man is, talks like, thinks like, feels like, what his moods are like, is her father. If he beat your mama, that's the first thing you saw. If he cheated all the time, that's what you saw. Whatever your first encounter with a man has a lot to do with what you're attracted to.
For us, it's very easy. Leave that man. He's hurting you. He's breaking you. Leave him. But for them, it's this is all I know.
You can love again. You can regain confidence. Thank you so much for joining us. You have just stepped into the village of possibilities and opportunities, discussions, and exciting dialogue. Check it out.
All right, listen up, ladies. Imagine this type of content. Praise God, it's still moving. Now, all right, check it out. This is what we wanted to share with you guys. I'm sure that all of you guys will leave this room, and because it's halfway throughout the day, you're probably going to hit a Starbucks up, or you're going to try to find some kind of coffee or a latte. Do I have any Starbucks people in the house? Well, what if I told you you could join the Bishop's Village for less than a cup of Starbucks a day? Once a month, you'll pay what it costs for a latte one day to go to Starbucks to be a part of the village. I think it's $6.25 or something of that nature per month. They're doing a 25% off special during MegaFest, so we would love for you guys to be a part of it. You can text right now for more information to your phone. You can text the word MegaFest to 555-888. That is 555-888, the word MegaFest. And we would love to give you more information about joining the village. Come on, we'd love to have you be a part of it. You guys can be dismissed now. We love you.